Hi Flosstube, it's Lori McCleary, Texstylust. Welcome to my channel. Hi Flosstubies, it's Lori. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. And if you are a current subscriber, which I hope you will become if you are not already, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you some cross stitch. I'm going to show you some previous finishes that are fall related and some things that are not necessarily cross stitch as well. And I want to introduce you to a new member of the family. This is Matilda. Say hi, Matilda. We call her Tilly, or Captain Tilly, or Tilly Vanilli, or lots of different things. I got her to be a friend for Fiona. Fiona has not befriended her quite yet, but at least they're not hissing at each other. She is I think she's about 9 or 10 weeks old, according to her paperwork. And a lot of people have messaged me. I've been showing her on my stories. A lot of people have messaged asking if she is a Maine Coon. I don't think she is. I mean, she may have something of that in her, but she is itty bitty tiny. And she's listed as a tabby on the rescue paperwork that I got. And she's very floofy. She is absolutely the sweetest kitten I have ever had. She is just laid back and just super, super sweet. So this is Tilly girl. She has the cutest spotted belly. I only get to see it until the fur grows back. She came to me already snipped and chipped. So she was good to go right out of the box, huh, Tilly? Yeah, and this is it. She's just a floopy, laid back kitty, aren't you, girl? Yeah. So I'm going to have her sit here with me. We'll see how she does, but she does like hanging out with Mom. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to catch you up on my cross stitch that I've been doing. I was going to do the quilt thing today. I talked about it in my last video. I'm not going to be able to do that in the 3 weeks since we chatted. I kind of overdid moving some furniture and bringing in wood and things like that, and I messed up my back, and it's doing a lot better. I'm able to get around. There was quite a few days there where I really wasn't doing much of any getting around, but I'm able to get around, but I'm not really up to folding, lifting, and doing sort of quilts. I have a very fragile truce with my back right now, but I have been doing some stitching, so I'm going to share that with you. First up is an update on my one rose thread. This is the Rose Quaker sampler, and you behave yourself. So here is where I'm at. I'm getting near the bottom. I think this is the last motif on this side, and then there's like a little tiny corner motif, and that's about how big the entire sampler will be. So I do think I will finish it before the end of the year. Keeping my fingers crossed because I really like to have that kind of closure. Here is the chart. You can buy this online as a PDF. There is the information to purchase it. And here are the colors, and I can see that's quickly going to become an end, and Tilly's going to have to go to her playpen while Mom does her Flosstube. So say goodbye, Tilly. Say bye. Bye. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Did you know they have playpens for kittens? I was racking my brain trying to figure out what to do with Tilly when I needed to do something and I didn't want her underfoot. And so I went online and I found this coolest playpen. It was like 25 bucks. It was very inexpensive, and it's big, and it folds down kind of like a pop tent into a small disc about this big, but it totally unfolds, has 2 rooms and a tunnel. It's the coolest thing. If you're interested in a kitten playpen, message me or leave me a comment, and I'll give you a link to what I got. So back to this. Here's the colors for the Rose Reef sampler, and I am so happy to be closing in on a finish on this one. It's going to be gorgeous. I'm glad I did it on a 40 count because it's going to be pretty big to frame, but super excited about that. So I did have a finish. I showed that last time on a prairie schooler. And so I wanted to start another fall related prairie schooler. So I have a new start. It's not very big. It's going to be so pretty though. I had talked before where I was really struggling with which linens to use for prairie schoolers. And even though most of them call for 28 or 32 count, I'm not really a 2/2 stitcher anymore. So I have chosen a couple of specific colors, and for fall prairie schooler stitching, I have chosen, picture this plus, 36 count vellum. And so what I'm stitching is the Village Green, which is book 89. And this is the entire book, and this is the particular one that I'm going to stitch. I really like that one too. I don't know that I will do the chickens, but I will probably do both of these. And this is my small start. It's very pretty. I love the colors with the vellum. I really wanted to choose something that I felt would be mostly available all the time. And picture this plus is generally available. Sometimes it's hard to get, but vellum is the standard color, and I really love it. These are the colors for that particular chart. Actually, it's all of the colors for the entire chart. So there might be a few that got pulled here that may go to like the chickens that I wouldn't be using. I did have a question on my last video about what I had on my prairie schooler floss ring, where I said it was my fall colors. Generally, it's the list of whatever it is I was stitching. So I was stitching 2 prairie schoolers. So that particular ring had a set of for 2 different charts. The prairie schooler uses pretty much the same colors. And I'm just going to go through this ring really quick, plus this ring, which had most of the colors of the last one. So let me put on my glasses here. This one is for Pumpkin Patch because that was the other one that I'm starting. And that has, well, I guess it'd be easier. No, I just have that. 420, these are all DMC, by the way. 420, 640, 729, 898, 3011, 3012, 3371. That is definitely a standard, and I like using this instead of black in a lot of things. It's a very dark brown. 3826 and 3857. So that was mostly of the ring that I was using before. That included the Thanksgiving colors plus, the colors for When Witches Go Riding plus this prairie schooler here. Okay, so it was actually When Witches Go Riding that I finished last time. Did I show that? I'm not sure I showed that. I'll have to go look. Oh, please. So you can tell I've really been discombobulated since I put my back out. I did have a finish, and since I did my last Flosstube, and I had it in my stack of things to take to find a frame, and here it is. And it's When Witches Go Riding, and that is Prairie Schooler. And I love this finish. It's so cool. So the Halloween ones, I had decided on 36 count Picture This Plus Bramble. And then the fall, I did the Picture This Plus Vellum. So they're similar. You know, they're both, this is more cooler. This is a little bit more warmer. But yeah, so I had a finish. Yay, yay me. I haven't found a frame for this yet. I think I am going to order one online, but I also thought I would take it into a shop and just kind of try out some frames. And then when I do, I'm going to order 2 because I am going to stitch the pumpkin patch on the other side of this. So yay me. Okay, so more to show you than I thought. Okay, so as I said, Village Green, this is my start. Using Picture This Plus 36 count vellum, one of my favorite Picture This Plus. And, and the ring for this one, again, and you can look these up. I think 1, 2, 3 Stitch always lists the floss for the charts, and I'm pretty sure they have this chart. So 370, 420, 436, 435, 611, 612, 680, 729, 918, 924, 3011, 3022, 3023, 3031, another nice dark brown, 3051, 3371, 3773, 3828, 3857, and Ecru. So that's what's on my Prairie Schooler ring. Okay, I hope that answered the question, but in reality, you can just go and look at any of the big seasonal Prairie Schoolers to get an idea of what you could put on a Prairie Schooler floss ring. And they're really good sets. Okay, I also put a little bit of stitching on Not Forgotten Farm, Reverend Gordon Squash Bottom. That's my working copy. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. I worked a little bit on the hat. So I did that and I put the little flower on. This is being stitched on a 36 count Weeks Dye Works linen. Is that? Yeah, linen. So that's the color. It's linen plus the color is linen. And did a little bit of stitching. These are the colors. And these are on the beautiful floss ring cards that Tina Egner sent me a couple years ago. They're turkey cards, pumpkins, etc. They're so cute, but aren't those colors luscious? And these are all DMC. I believe that's, yeah, I'll call for DMC. Been spending most of my time stitching on, other than doing the finish there, is Stacy Nash Turkey Hollow Farm. I really would like to get a finish on this before Thanksgiving. If I keep at it diligently, I think I probably will. But there's a lot of stitching in this, more than you think. So here is where I'm at. And the last couple days, I went and did the border. I had did all the way across and part way down before I realized I was using the wrong color. And I definitely was not going to pick that out. So mine's a little bit darker than maybe yours if you're stitching on this too. I think it calls for Schneckly to go around the outside. I use Palomino or Palminco. Is that what it is? Let me look. Yeah, no, it's Palomino. There is a Palminco too, but it's I use Palomino around the edge, and I don't think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be great. The only concern I have is that I might run out and have to get another skein of floss because I have a lot of the flowers. So this is all Palomino, and then it's also used right here in this border. So let's see. I have the farmer, the pumpkin patch, the dog, the other rooster. I think it's a rooster, and the vine that goes down here left to do. But I'm getting there. It would, like I said, it would be great to have this one done for this Thanksgiving. Okay, so that is what I've been stitching on. I have a little bit of haul, and I also wanted to show you just a few things that are past fall finishes. I'll start with the cross stitch. This is one I finished last fall. It was a whip that lingered many years. And I actually ended up not even stitching the bottom part. There was an alphabet down here, and I don't have the chart with me. I gave it away. This is Pumpkin Hollow by Little House Needleworks. And this is stitched on, I think, a 32 count. I think it was the called for, because it's when I very first started stitching. So whatever the call for was on this, using the call for colors, except for the orange, which I darkened up a little bit. And I made this into a pillow, and I put part of a log cabin block that I cut down on the back, which I think is really pretty. And so that's a previous finish, and I just have it stuffed with polyfill, and I did a little bit of herringbone on the edge. I did some framing, or completed some framing. This one I framed completely. And I've found a method that works for me, and it involves using Wonder Clips. I don't know if anybody else has done that. I'm sure somebody has. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but Wonder Clips are something I use all the time, you know, for quilting and other craft projects. So if you're interested and you'd like to see how I used the Wonder Clips, it works well for me. I have two sizes. I have the little red ones that everybody has. Oh, here, I have them right here. Let me show you. So I have the red ones that everybody uses, but I also they have a bigger one. And this one has markings on the back that have the 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4 mark. And then it goes all the way up to, I think, an inch right here before that's where the clip is. And the reason that's important is because I was able to use these and use the line or the border around this to clip it, and then pull and stretch the fabric to clip it where it was even all the way around. So again, if you're interested in that, I can do a little video of how I did it. It worked really well for me. I've laced things before, I've pinned things before, but I was just kind of desperate. I was trying to figure out how to measure it equally, and I thought of the Wonder Clip. So that worked well. Anyway, so this is Turkey Trot by Not Forgotten Farm. I finished this, I think, last year or year before last. I hadn't framed it. I had the frame, but I just hadn't framed it. And I think it turned out pretty good. I mean, it's not professional, but I think it turned out pretty even. Sometimes it's really hard to get the even all the way around, and I think I did it. So, and I even put the back on. So this is just a piece of scrapbook paper that just happened to have autumn on there. I just cut it down and I used double-sided tape and put that on there. So I really like how it turned out. I just wrote information on here. I may or may not do it a little bit nicer. Oh, it looks like I finished this November of 2023, so not last year, year before last. This is on 36 count, something that I hand dyed using all the called for DMC. So I'm really thrilled about how this turned out. And so with that newfound confidence of framing, I went back to some of my other things where I just had the stitch more or less just kind of popped into a frame, not really stretched or pinned or anything. And I stretched this one. This is a past finish. I finished this 2 or 3 years ago. This is with a needle and thread, Grateful, Thankful, Blessed. And this is also on something that I hand dyed. And so I used the same method. You've probably seen other people show that the framing part where the Grateful, Thankful, Blessed is kind of ghosty. But again, I use the same process where I use the clips and I use the measurement on the clips to get this in the frame equal distance. And again, I think it was pretty good. This corner looks like it could be a little bit more straight. This one I'm waiting for a point gun. Those are the things that shoot the little point things where you bend it up and bend it down. So right now I just have it taped in here and I don't have the back on. I need to put the points into it. So I'm waiting for that to happen, but I think it turned out great. I'm really pleased with that. And same thing with this one. This is a previous finish. This one was already penned. I went and measured it and I really didn't need to do anything, but I'm waiting for that point gun so that I can put the points on here to hold the stitch in tightly, and then I can put a back on it. So this is Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs. I stitched this. This is on a 28 count. It is 2/2. I think it's a 28 or 32. Called for, which is a lakeside. I remember which lakeside it is. It looks like it might be Meadow Rue, using all the called for colors. So those are some previous finishes. And I'm feeling, like I said, pretty confident now with the method that I found that works for me for framing. So I'm going to go through many that I have and finish up the framing on those. So I'm kind of excited about that. Okay. The last thing I'm going to show you is going to be kind of a short video, is a few other things. This is a past fall finish. This is called the, let me take those out. This is called the Poppins bag. I made this, I took a class with my friend Tammy a couple years ago. And these colors are from a previous Kim Deal line. And let me make sure there's nothing in here. I'll show you the inside. It's not a beginner's bag. It took me two and a half solid days to sew this. So it does have pockets in here. This is what the inside looks like. And I have a pocket on the outside. I added this. This wasn't part of the pattern, so you can clip keys. I also added the fob. So we had made fobs with my stitching group. We had made them, and it just so happened to be the right color scheme. As you know, if you've watched me for any length of time, I like the autumnal colors all the time, not just in autumn. And that's how it zips up and it looks. And that's the bottom. And then I made a Notions bag. This is the Open Up pouch by Minky Kim. That's what the pattern is. And I just took scraps that I had left over from the bag, and I made this. So just the fun thing about this is that you can use scraps. You just start laying them down on a, here, that's what it looks like on the inside. You just lay them down on a piece of your interfacing, whatever interfacing you use. I like to use the foam interfacing. And you just kind of start building. And that's what I did here. I just put a little patch here because I thought it was cute. And this is my fall bag that I take to Stitch Group, where I put all my stitches in here. Okay, so that was a previous fall finish. This is another one that I made several years ago. Let me think about this. I don't recall if this was right before the pandemic or after the pandemic, but it was for a fall stitch retreat. And it's a stitching mat. This is what it looks like folded up. And here's what it looks like unfolded. And so what I did is I started out with some orphan quilt blocks and some flying geese here. And these are some orphan quilt blocks from a quilt that I made that I'll show you next time. And then I made these little flip outs. So this is a thread catcher flip out that I just sewed like little tabs in the binding so that it's attached. And then I have one here too that is has several pockets. So there's pockets here to put in, you know, like your needle threader, needles, etc., pin. So there's 3 pockets. There's one here, one or 2 pockets. And then like this one here, it's a skinny pocket, so you can put your pin in. So the way it works, not doing this very well, you just flip these in, and then it folds into thirds, and you can actually even fold it in half. And there it goes. So that's a previous fall finish. And I think that's all the finishes. I have a little bit of haul to share. And I think we'll call it a day. So I did get my AccuFactum monthly subscription, and I'll share those. I haven't opened this up yet. So these are Christmas fabrics. So we have some beautiful polka dot, looks like little white snowflakes. And oh, look at that. Isn't that sweet? Little angels and wreaths. And then this looks like a crosshatch. That's really cute. And then the last one, this is a really good pack. These stars that have, what are they on there? I can't tell, but they're pretty. So that's my AccuFactum fabric this month. There were several with a needle and thread patterns that I did not have that were Halloween related that I wanted. So I put in an order with Kitten Stitcher, and while I was there, I always go through her $5 deals. If you have not ordered from Kitten Stitcher, you need to check out her $5 deals because there's some spectacular ones. This was one of them. So this was in her $5 deals. Now, I don't know if they're still there. So, of course, she's closing things out of whatever's there. But these are the Kathy Barrick labels. So there's a set of labels in here. I don't know. Let's see. There's several. And they're all different. So let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 different labels. So that was on there. And I picked those up. And another one of her $5 deals was this beautiful antique sampler reproduction. It's in memory of Louise, 1874. That stitch is stunning. And what really, I remember when this came out, but what really drew me to that is those 2 stags. So I picked that up. That was a $5 deal. And then the ones that I ordered, these were all Brenda Gervais. Pumpkin Brew. This is an older one. I think it's from 2013. I saw a lot of people who were stitching that this year. And it's one I didn't have. And what I love about it is the cauldron, the cat, and the little owl. That's so cute. So I have a lot of her charts with this little witch, but I didn't have this one. And while I was there, I got the witch pumpkin, and it's a little pocket bag that will be so cute to hang on a door. This is one I think came out year before last, 2023, when witches go riding. So that's her version, and I really like these. I didn't get them when they came out, so now I have them for next year. And I also picked up We Gather Together from A Proper Stitcher. I really like that. It's so elegant. That's what I like about that one. And another Brenda Gervais, Be Ye Thankful. This was one I did not have as well. So picked up those from Kitten Stitcher. When I showed the wool last time, I told you that I had a couple of things coming from Buttermilk Basin, and I received those. This is the Sweet and Simple Through the Year November. Sorry about the glare. And Katie is So Tattered, and a couple of other stitchers have made that this year. I have everything traced out. I just haven't ironed it on and put it together, but I have the kit. And while I was there getting that kit, I also wanted to get this because Michelle Rudy, she went to a wool extravaganza. I'm not sure that's what they call it, but she went to an event at Buttermilk Basin, and this was their project. So I've been waiting for this one to come out. I think it came out last year. and it's the poinsettia needle keep. I cannot wait to make that. Again, I have it all traced out. I just haven't did the thing. So those came. And then last but not least, I have been watching and wanting to find these booklets that I'm going to show you. They're Blackbird designs. I know I've mentioned many times before how I came to cross stitch was through Blackbird Designs because I'm a quilter, and I followed their quilting journey from nearly the very beginning. And of course, it's getting harder and harder to find some of their older patterns. And this set, I've seen one of the quilts in person, but I was never able to find this set or find it at a reasonable price. It came up at a reasonable price. And I did a buy now. I didn't even quibble about the price. And that is the samples from the past. So now I have my own set of samples from the past. It's a set of three different books, but all together you can do this quilt. And so this is Alma's version. And this, I think Alma and Cherry Ralston or Cherry Payne, depending, that's her version. So she's featured in this book as well, of Blackbird Designs. I don't know when these were, Mary Lou Kantz. I don't know when these came out originally, but the projects in them are gorgeous. So it's not just that quilt. Here's another quilt. Let's see what's in this one. There's this quilt, and they have other craft projects. There's a cross stitch project in here. There's a red work journal. I can't really show you some of these because they have the here, I guess what we can do is we can look closer. So there's the red work. There's a wool project. There is a hooked rug project. Okay, it looks like maybe 2000, so 25 years ago. That's how old these are. Let's look closer at the front. So this is that quilt. This is another quilt. This is a table runner. This is a wool with embroidery. And then that same quilt. Oh, and there is this beautiful wool purse, it looks like. And then this one, there is a very large wool. Looks like a table topper. There is a cross stitch. And then there's another quilt. So I can't tell you how excited I am to have these. This is what brought me to cross stitch, this particular set. And then there's another Christmas quilt set. Because when I was searching for these for years online, I kept coming up with videos about cross stitch. And that's kind of how I dove in. Thanks for joining me today. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing, clicking the bell so you get a notice of when I do another video. We're heading into the holiday season. And you know what that means if you've watched me for any time. If you haven't, go back and look at some of my past videos. I will try to do the quilts, the fall quilts, my kits and my finishes and all of that next video. I hope I'll be up to doing that before we slide into Christmas stitching, which I think is going to start popping into my rotation here probably this week. I'm going to continue to work on the Turkey Hollow Farm because I'd really like to finish that. But yeah, I'm really feeling the tug for Christmas stitching. So I almost completely forgot to announce the winner for the Equality Sampler. Sorry for the glare. At SpringerMom2, send me an email with your address at texstylust@gmail.com. You'll find that in the description box below, and I'll get this out in the mail to you. Hope to see you all soon. and we'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.